Today we're going to be talking about a few things. Illuminaughtii may have something to do with Oz Media's GoFundMe getting taken down. Liltay is back on the scene and possibly creating more content. Swoop released a video that was over 4 hours long, and it uncovers that there's more to Collen Ballinger's story than what meets the eye, as well as Elphaba is back in some drama. If you came here for just one topic and would like to skip forward to that, I will have timestamps down below in the description. So look there to find what you want to watch. So if you don't know, Elphaba is still at large, and she currently has a TikTok of 70,000 followers. And for those of you that don't know who Elphaba is, she is well known for faking disorders such as Tourette's and autism. I'm not making this up. I did a whole video on her. If you want to check it out, go check it out, get the full details. But it turns out that somebody she became friends with is discovering all of these lies, and they are hurt by it, and they go to talk about it on a podcast. And this is that podcast.
My thing with Elphaba is I thought when I met her, this is such a lovely person. She was so lovely to me. I can't even put it into words. I felt so protective over her that I invited her to our podcast launch.
Well, if you know anything about Elphaba and the story behind her, you know that she is not a lovely person. In fact, I think she's just really good at lying. That's like what she does. She might even con people in, like this guy, as you're about to hear.
Launch event as well a few weeks later. I personally just felt so disappointed in her as a person when she was at my house and told me about her autism diagnosis. It happened when she went to the doctor. She sat and told me this to my face, to then later find a few months later that she'd completely made it up. None of that was true. She also said on lives that she had Tourette's. Found out that she'd never been diagnosed with that. She told me and showed me things that Chelsea Lee Art, which if you don't know who that is, she's like this other TikTok live person. When I saw the things that she had said to Elphaba, I was horrified that this woman has a platform. She was so transphobic to her, so nasty to her, so awful. And Elphaba told me how much that hurt her. Like genuinely, I saw it in her face. She was so hurt. A couple of weeks later, she moved into Chelsea Lee Art's house and lived with her for over a week, just on live stream non-stop. Guys, come on, send the gifts, come on, send it.
So go figure, somebody had a bad experience with Elphaba. Who would have thought, right? Like, she is a bad person doing these bad things, faking these disorders to get money, and then moving in with somebody that she apparently hates, you know? It's all about the money for her. Well, Elphaba goes on to make a response to this video. Let's check it out.
You know, if Max is watching this, or he ends up seeing this on the For You page, like he always does watching me, on some sort of For You page, he will see me at some point because I'm all over it. I'm really disappointed, to be honest, in how he's responded towards me. If Max was on a phone call with me, he'd be thinking completely different. And I'm going to say this right now, as a person, Max, I don't care how many followers you've got. I don't care the amount of following you have. I respect your content, I respect you as a person, but your behaviour towards me on that podcast, you're acting two-faced, is horrific. I do not agree with that. You've thrown me under the bus, and only for publicity-wise. You never actually checked on me. You never called me. You said you wanted to be friends. You wanted to,
You know, after everything that Elphaba has done, it's really hard to believe anything she's saying. And she does have a history of kind of milking these things in order to just get more views out of it. So she could just be playing a narrative here. But, you know, it's hearsay, so who knows? But, you know, she did do all the things that he was talking about. Like, she did fake autism and Tourette's, so...
feel protective over me, but you never called me for days. I was the one messaging you before any conspiracy happened. I was looking to be your friend genuinely. I didn't care about your followers. I didn't care about the publicity, this and that. But you need to understand, Max, that's not cool. I get Max has a lot of fans, 3 million followers, but that's what I mean. He's got a platform. He's got a bigger platform than me. He's quite huge on TikTok, and him talking about me like that, he has to... That's
Now, I do want to clarify that TikTok that we did watch of the podcast was just a little snippet of it. I believe there's a full thing out there. If you want to check it out after this, I will show his TikTok, so you can go check his TikTok out and find that.
Really irresponsible as a person. If you are under a management, or if you are, talking about other people, well, he probably can though, but, a creator like that huge shouldn't talk about people like that. You know, that's hurt me. And you've gotten a lot of your people giving me transphobia on your account, on the useless hotline. I see the comments call me he and it. Now, I respect you, Max, for putting on the story. I don't condone transphobia and I don't condone it.
So is she trying to flip the script here? Because that's what it sounds like. She's trying to flip the script.
I'm sure you don't. But Max, you need to remember you can filter out the comments on your thing. And if you want to learn, and I can teach you, there's a little button on the settings. Go onto your settings.
Now I feel like she's being a little condescending about this.
Go on comments, because I'm used to turning my comments off all the time. Filter all the comments, and you can block out keywords of he, it, that, you know. If you didn't know that, I understand that, that's fair. But you need to know that that's not cool having transphobic comments in your account, on the user's hotline comment section. It's not cool. Because what you've done is you've publicly dissed me, but you never called me, you never reached out to me as a friend. You only messaged me when it was PR and when you wanted me to go to your boat party or when you wanted me to paint you green. You never reached out as a friend.
Well, that's interesting. I'm curious what you think about that. That's interesting.
That actually was a real friend to me. You were a clout friend. You were a person who wanted to do videos with me and a person, because at the time, in the nicest way, I was getting a lot of attention. I'm all over the For You page. Becoming you talking.
Do you think that she was being used for clout? Maybe. It sounded like that guy was pretty hurt about the whole situation, though.
About me now. I don't even talk about it on my platform until now.
Wait a minute. Did I just see a hat pop up on her head? That only happens when you're live on TikTok, right? I think so. But correct me if I'm wrong, but if she is doing this live, that means she's monetizing this too, which kind of strengthens my belief in that she's playing a narrative. It goes with that pattern that she just uses these events, these narratives to monetize them. And I mean, it goes with the autism. It goes with the Tourette's, moving in with that person that she hated.
I would be talking to you, like, as a person, I'd be saying this to you myself. I'd be saying this to you. I'm so hurt by it. I really think you need to word things better. And I'm just hurt, man. I'm really hurt that you think that of me. That you actually think I'm that vile as a person, to be honest, when you didn't even reach out to me and call me.
Well, I mean, to be honest, she did lie about having disabilities. That's a pretty horrible, bad thing to do, right? So,
and ask for any evidence or anything like that, because I would have sent it to you. I would have happily done that to you. But you only have spoken what you've seen online. And
if you'd like to check out that podcast, here is their TikTok as well as their YouTube channel, where I believe you can find all the full-length podcasts of everything you need. And they also have a link tree here. Well, it just seems like another person has found out who Elphaba really is, and they were heard about it and decided to talk about it on a podcast. And I guess Elphaba didn't like that. So I'm curious what you think about it. Let me know in the comments down below. By the way, I'm trying to get to 4K followers on Facebook. So if you have Facebook, make sure you go on over there, drop me a follow. I go live over there as well and post some pretty funny stuff. So check it out. Come chat with me on live interaction. It's kind of funny because we're also really close to 4K on YouTube too. The link to that will be in the description. Thank you. So it looks like Liltay may be starting to make more content again because Liltay's mother is in custody of Liltay again. Now, if you don't know, the father had custody and he wanted to take a more traditional route with like singing and theater type stuff, acting and stuff of that nature. And from the way I took it was the mother just wanted the Liltay to be able to do it the way, you know, they wanted to do it, have fun. But listen to this. Christopher Hope, which is the father, has been ordered to cough up approximately $275,000 and back in child support dating all the way back to 2014. That is a lot of money. And according to Angela, the mother, the extended custody battle has put them in a constant state of severe depression. She says Christopher's disgusting financial motivation has been a massive weight she's glad is finally lifted. Wow, so it sounds like the father could have possibly maybe wanted to use Liltay for monetary gain and, you know, treat her like they do the kids in Hollywood and work them to death. Who knows? But she continues, I have been financially ruined fighting for my daughter's rights and freedom, which should have never been taken away to begin with. We have won our case in court and my children and I can finally move on from this nightmare. My daughter can pursue and achieve her dreams on her own terms, and we are finally happy family again. It sounds like a weight is being lifted off their shoulders, and it's going to be interesting to see what kind of content Liltay comes back out with. Are you excited to see some more Liltay content? So the Lizzo situation has took a turn, and it turns out that Lizzo is going to be countersuing the dancers that have come forward for their alleged accusations towards Lizzo. Now, for those of you that don't know, dancers came forward and claimed that Lizzo was doing inappropriate things to them while at work. She was shaming their body. She was forcing them to eat objects from private parts at a certain industry where you do things like that. And in this specific instance, it was claimed that she invited them out to a bar where everybody didn't wear clothes, and she didn't tell them. She didn't tell the dancers. So when they showed up, they were like, what's going on? And according to Lizzo, she's saying she has proof that this situation is backwards because the way they're describing the events is a lie. On Wednesday, Lizzo's lawyer, Marty Singer, shared photos with people of plaintiffs Ariana Davis, Crystal Williams, and Nolan Rodriguez allegedly happily cavorting backstage with performers from Crazy Horse's Topless Cabaret show on March 5th, 2023 in Paris, after they claimed Lizzo pursued them into attending the performance while on tour in the lawsuit. These images showing the three plaintiffs gleefully revealing backstage after the Topless show were taken after their February 2023 visit to Banana Bar in Amsterdam that they complain about in their lawsuit, wrote Singer in a statement referencing another club where they claim to have been pressured to attend and touch performers. According to Singer, all three dancers returned to work on Lizzo's tour following the Paris outing. The following month, Davis alleged submitted an audition tape to Lizzo's TV show Watch Out for the Big Girls, in which she claimed she wants to follow in her footsteps. After Miss Davis's audition video became public, she tried to explain away her glowing comments about Lizzo by claiming the bulk of her accusations were based on things that happened later. That excuse is completely contradicted by the facts, including by these images, continued in Singer's statement. These irrefutable photos and videos, along with additional substantial evidence, prove the glaring contradictions between what the plaintiffs claim in their bogus lawsuit and what is actually proven by the facts, writes Singer. The lawsuit is a sham. Lizzo intends to sue malicious prosecution after she prevails, and these suspicious claims are dismissed. And these dancers that came forward, their attorney said this about this situation. Davis, Williams, and Rodriguez's attorney, Niam Ramani, claims in a statement to People that they stand by every claim in the lawsuit and look forward to trial despite the photos. Our clients aren't afraid of Singer and his empty threats or his shaming. So this is going to be an interesting turn of events. I'm curious to see where this one goes. What do you guys think is going to happen? Do you think that the dancers are just making this all up, or do you think that Lizzo is denying it all even though it's true? And if you want more in depth of what exactly is going on with the Lizzo situation, I made a video on this. You can check that out. So if you haven't heard, Illuminaughtii is trying to take Oz Media's house. And I actually made a video about that too, if you want to go check that out. But to pay for these legal fees, Oz Media released a GoFundMe. And this GoFundMe was doing pretty well. He raised like $4,000 something until it was taken down by false reports. Oz Media tweets, someone false reported my GoFundMe fundraiser and it got taken down. This is the email I got. It says, we're writing you to tell you that your fundraiser has been suspended and won't be visible on GoFundMe until edits are made. It is against our terms to include any personally identifiable information, inflammatory or accusationary language in your fundraising title, description, images, or updates. Please remove any inflammatory language or specific accusations from your fundraiser. Any information that can be used to distinguish or trace an individual's identity, such as phone name, phone number, address, date, and place of birth, or any other information. Which I find really weird because I'm pretty sure that there was nothing of the sort on his GoFundMe, and which makes sense why he said it was falsely reported. Which, you know, I can't help but ask, who was reporting this? Was it Illuminaughti's fans? Was it Illuminaughtii, you know, maybe orchestrating something, getting her fans to do this? Was it Illuminaughtii herself? We'll never really know, but it definitely is interesting. Luckily, like I said, there is good news. Good news is that it does seem like the funding collected from the GoFundMe of around 4.1K is collectible despite it being taken down. If this changes, I will update. Thank you for all the support you've given me so far. So that's awesome to hear that he gets to keep the money that he already earned, and hopefully he can get the GoFundMe back up and running and pay for the legal fees. But what do you think? What do you think is going on with this situation? You think Illuminati has something to do with it? Or is it just, just maybe somebody doesn't like Oz Media that's not Illuminati or related to Illuminati in any type of way? So there's been an interesting turn in the Collen Ballinger situation where somebody was acting like Colleen was doing all these bad things to her and trying to make it seem like their situation was more important than everyone else's. And thanks to a YouTuber named Swoop, she released a almost 4-hour video about this called "The Devil in Collen Ballinger's Shadow. He Lied to Everyone." And throughout this, it's basically a documentary of her interviewing him and some of the other people that were involved in this and felt the effects of Collen Ballinger, and they were all telling their story. Well, this man named Johnny Silvestri thought that he was being pampered because he got a 6-hour interview, and Swoop was just letting him talk and letting him do his thing while he was basically contradicting things he was saying, trying to fake things and make it seem like he was cool because he was tweeting out that, oh, look at me, I had a 6-hour interview with Swoop. No one else had that. My story's more important than yours. And she was able to get other people's input on this situation and uncovered that he was doing all of this the whole time behind the scenes, trying to make everything seem more important. And it's interesting because Johnny releases a statement about the situation and says this: "Betrayed is an understatement. My trauma was used against me today in a way I had never imagined would happen. I was given guidance and a safe space to share my story. I was praised for being so vulnerable and honest, only to be defamed on such a gross level. It feels beyond explanation right now. I feel so hurt and disregarded. Swoop, you claim to stand for victims, and what you did today is polar opposite. You have no regard for my life, the trauma I faced, my safety, or the safety of so many others involved. You've completely shifted the narrative while making sure to promote your merch and fabricate a story for extra revenue. I am so beyond disgusted by all of this. I'm not going to sit here and defend myself to every one of your heinous allegations about me via Notes app, but I will be making a proper statement regarding all of these disgusting and false statements. This is 100% character assassination, and I won't stand for it. Swoop, you encouraged me and made me feel like you were a massive source of trust. You choose to interview Adam about allegations regarding me rather than talking to me, which for starters is scummy. You wanted information at your request as if I wasn't working full time in the process of moving, which I was upfront about. You can call names and spread your lies. I know my truth, and I will not stop sharing it because of people like you." So it's definitely an interesting statement. I'm curious what you think, though. If you've watched this video and then read that statement, what do you think of the whole situation? That's going to be it for today's video. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below, and leave a thumbs up for the video, and I'll see you in the next one.